not a scientist in that sense or a brain expert, but I don't know what it is that it does make me feel uncomfortable, but it's not pleasant. It's more common to see women and children more emotional than it is men. But I primarily work with men. And when you see them at the breaking point, you're like, oh my God, this is just awful. But I have to put my emotion aside to be able to serve them at the highest level. If I can't disassociate my emotions or learn how to regulate my emotions, I'm doing a disservice to people.
It's interesting. I'm just listening to you and your own backstory. If I make a statement, it'd be interesting to hear. You have talked about when there's a negative question, perhaps about self, you try and find the positive question. You try and challenge that. I just wonder a little bit, given your background, you talked about your own mental health issues, whether you've tried to find the positive challenge to your own situation, and this is it. This is what you're doing. You're putting, in that sense, it's selfish. It's not inherently selfish, but it's about putting it all back together in the right way, if you will. That's your challenge.
Yeah, everything is about the intent of the person. I'm not searching for miserable, desperate men for my own gratification. This is coming from a place of care. I do a lot of pro bono work. I do work with charities. I donate a lot of money to charity for a reason because, and again, I won't post about it anywhere because I don't need to, and I don't need to explain that. I will give food to the homeless regularly. I will do, etc. And again, I know ironically I'm talking about it now, but I don't do it for a pat on the back, right? Yeah. Part of my healing has absolutely been through helping other people. Because I did receive the help. I was so lucky that I had the loving support of the family and what have you. And again, that doesn't mean that people that have ended their life didn't have the support around them either, because that's a common misconception that people have. Oh, the loved ones must have neglected them or done this. No, absolutely incorrect. Some people on paper could appear to have it all and still take their own life because you don't know what's going on inside here. So yes, it may be a mental disorder, but generally people tend to take their own life because they feel like they're worthless or they feel like they've got no value to add and the world would be a better place without them. So yeah, it's there has been occasions where you think, you sort of challenge yourself in a healthy way and what is this all about? Why am I doing this? And is this a self-fulfilling prophecy? And I'm like, no, I've got a mission. I've got a story that needs to be heard, and I've got too much passion within me to help people, not to move it forward and not to change lives.
Yeah. No, I see that. That's absolutely clear. On a slightly different note, I know that you eschew management bullshit, if I can put it that way. Where's that come from, and why do you say that?
Why don't I tolerate it?
Yes. I have heard you, by the way, talk about various things today, like habit stack and so on. So there are a few words in there. So I need to challenge you and sort of say, where do you stand with that, and what are you trying to say by challenging management speak?
I think it's, as I say, I just have a absolute intolerance to disrespect.
Okay.
So, because I just think it's completely unnecessary. By and large, we are equal in almost everything that we do. So I don't see role, I don't see race, I don't see gender. It's, I will give you my all, I will give you my respect. But if you push past that boundary, I think it's because at school I was disrespected and misunderstood quite a lot. It doesn't free me from my responsibility. I was disruptive. I was challenging as a student. I was difficult to manage as a kid, no question. I wasn't evil. I wasn't sadistic. I wasn't, hateful or anything like that. But I was the cheeky chappy, the one that had a lot of potential and whatever. But I got called sheep shit for brains by a teacher at the age of 14.
Yeah.
Called retard by another one. Yeah. And nothing happened. The head teacher was like, almost like you're making it up, you're lying. Because it was like the boy who cried wolf. I once got thrown out of a class for sneezing because I thought I was being disruptive on purpose. So that was really challenging. One of my first football coaches said, "Oh, you're never going to amount to anything. You're going to play at a terrible level and da-da-da-da-da." And, okay, I didn't go on to play professional football, but I represented North Yorkshire at football. So I'm like, well, I proved them wrong. I thrive when people tell me no. I thrive in that area.
I think I could see that very much.
So not in a sense of if it was a negotiation over a contract, I'm not going to go, right, I'll show you. But when people outwardly try disrespect me, that's different. Yeah. A perceived rejection, or again, for instance, if I was talking to a corporate client and they said, "Oh, we're not interested in the deal, Adam," I'm not going to go, "Yeah, you are." Not saying that. But if they did speak to me in a certain way, I would always challenge it. Yeah.
So perhaps would this be fair to say that your challenge to management speak is it sets up a hierarchy, it sort of sets people apart, and that's not what you're about. You're about that sort of equality across.
Yeah, we're just people.
People.
Yeah, I play the game, in terms of the corporate lingo and the, circling back and following up and touching base and kind regards. And,
reaching out. Yes, all of those.
Hey, by the way, when people say just, I think we need to remove that word when it comes to communication, because just reaching out or just following up, just remove the word just. I'm following up on the above thing. It weakens your position. And also it weakens your position. This is a massive tangent now, but when people say, in my opinion, you don't need to say in my opinion. I know it's your opinion because you're saying it. So you don't have to caveat by saying, oh, in my opinion, I think. I know what you think. You're telling me. So that's just a little side note there. But
no, I like that one. My favourite is with respect. It's totally disrespectful.
Correct. Yeah. So I think that, if I was to have for instance, communication with yourself about doing some work with your organisation, we'll just be human about it.
Yeah, of course.
Have a conversation and what are your expectations? Oh, it's this and this. Can you deliver that? I can't deliver that, but I can deliver that. What do you think? Yeah, I could do that. Fantastic. Should we agree? Let's agree. Or no, I just don't think it's right. No problem. If you change your mind, mate, drop me an email. Let's have a chat. That's how I approach things.